So today's presentation is Explore Internships, part of the Career Readiness Workshop series. So thank you so much for joining us today. And then the purpose of this workshop is essentially to understand the internship internship application, the search process, and also looking into different searches. So one of the things that I tell students is that your search will depend on the field that you're wanting to go into. So for example, if there's an accounting student looking for an internship, their internship search is going to look a lot different than somebody who's coming from, let's say, film production, right? And they're interested in the film industry. So their searches will be a lot different, and I'll go more into depth with that later. And then also the last thing is learning some search techniques that work for you. So we'll go ahead and kind of move towards that. Just a quick introduction. My name is Lupe. I'm the internship specialist. So one of my primary roles is to support you in your search. So definitely jot down my email address, contact me if you have any questions regarding this presentation, or you get this information, you're like, okay, well, I still don't really know like where to find one. We can meet one-on-one, and I'll definitely guide you and provide you additional resources that might be helpful for you. Hilda, I don't know if you are on, but Hilda is our internship admin support. And then these three in the bottom, they are our amazing team that comprises the internship team at the Career Center. So we're here again to support you and to support your search. So basically, if you want an internship, I got it. All right. So today we'll go over where to look for internships, how the Career Center can help your search, and we'll go over some internship funding that's available should you find an unpaid internship with a nonprofit, government, or municipal organization. All right, so some benefits of an internship. As you can see here, Robert Schindel, he's a professor, and he also works with InternBridge, which is an organization that focuses on internships. And they completed a survey where they surveyed over 300 different employers and asked them what was the most important attribute in evaluating graduates when they're looking for them to hire them. And they're here chronological order. So the first one was internships. So internships was rated the highest of importance when they're looking at applicants. All right, so I'm gonna launch a Zoom poll, and I'd like to know why you wanna get an internship. And let me see if I can. Here you go. So here's several options. I believe you might be able to see it live. Awesome. So I'll end the poll there. All right. So the number one reason you all chose was to gain hands-on experience in your field. And then second, to become better prepared. Here you go. I hope you can all see the results. But essentially, Robert Schindel also conducted that similar survey, but to students, as to why they were motivated to pursue an internship. And similar to you all, this is it's based on ranking. So the number one reason was to gain hands-on experience. And I think it also resembles the feedback that I got from you all today. And then to become better prepared for employment was second. Third, to learn new skills. So definitely I think it's one thing to gain the, the skills that you gain in the classroom and the concepts that you learn, but another thing is to apply them into an actual work setting and how that looks like and how that unfolds. So it's definitely a great experience. Internships can allow for that. And it also makes for a realistic preview of the workplace. So I've had students who've shared that after their internship experience, they realized that the field that they were going into wasn't really what they expected. Because again, one thing is to like read it off a book, and then the other thing is to actually experience and what is actually going on in the real world. So it's always really good to confirm or sometimes disconfirm the field that you want to go into, and making professional contacts. So I definitely recommend, when all of you get an internship, I recommend making those connections and building those relationships with your supervisors, with colleagues that you're working with. And then it also allows you to work for or explore a new industry or an organization. So definitely thinking about maybe if you have like an intersecting interest. So for example, let's say I'm in IT, but I also like the entertainment industry. I can work for IT in the entertainment industry. So something like that. So you can explore a different industry that you might be interested in. And then the last one was to earn money. All right, so moving on to the internship search process. So I really want to emphasize that the internship search is a process. So some students, they'll find an internship right away. Some students, it may take them several months. So just recognize, don't get discouraged, but just know that it is a process that can take some time. So step number one is to have your resume revised. And step number two is then identifying search engines or strategies that work best for you. And I'll go into that next of where to look, but that's definitely step number two. And then step three, actively search and apply weekly. So here we go. Kind of going back to the number one, I have another poll I want to show you all. So how many of you have binge watched a TV show recently? So options are never, sometimes, who doesn't? I'll give you about 30 more seconds to respond. So majority of you said who doesn't and sometimes. So kind of with that, it's similar to when you're applying for internships. So I call it binge applying. So sometimes students will, they'll share with me that you have in one Saturday night, you just apply for a bunch of internships. And then you're like, okay, well, I applied for like 30 of them, so I should be good now. And then months go by and you don't apply ever again. So I definitely don't recommend that. I recommend setting yourself a goal each week to apply for internships. So this could range from anywhere from 3 to 7 internships a week, but definitely just stay active. Don't binge apply, just as much as we love to binge watch shows. But definitely give yourself a goal, because that, again, because it is a process, it'll give you a gradual progression into your application. and the number of applications that you apply to. And another thing is that I have I believe in the 5-to-1 ratio. So for every 5th application that you do submit, you should be getting at least 1 interview. And the same thing with interviewing. So for every 5th interview, and if you're not getting any offers, we can definitely look at any interviewing strategies. But if you are applying and you're not getting any interviews, we can definitely look at your resume, because it's most likely that's the kind of the key there. All right, so just to get a sense of some of the challenges that you faced when looking for an internship, for those of you who've already started looking, and if you haven't started, that's completely fine. You can kind of think of maybe some anticipated challenges that you might kind of foresee happening. For some students, it's location, transportation. I mean, currently, of course, our current situation is definitely a key factor of those challenges. But if you could text Career Center 662 to 37607, you can text that first, and then it will join you, and then you can type whatever response you want, and we'll show it on the screen here. But definitely thinking of some challenges, and this is also going to help me just getting a sense of what you all have faced so far, and then ways that you can overcome those. All right, now I'll give you about like 20 more seconds.
Lupe, there are also a few challenges in the chat. One being, I'm seeing here, a challenge that I face with internships would be picking the right one for my career goals and majors. Since there are so many, I worry about choosing one that is most beneficial. So I just wanted to keep you in the loop of the chat challenges as well.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, so as you can see, there could be a wide array of different challenges that you might face. So hopefully throughout this presentation, I can address any of these. And should you still have, kind of an anticipated challenge or have experienced a challenge that's not covered, definitely stick around, and I'll be more than happy to answer it. All right, so next, where to find internships. There's a variety of different search engines. These are the top ones that I like promoting to students. So one that came out just recently because of the COVID-19 crisis was the Cove Intern. So these are companies and organizations that have and are still currently hiring virtual and remote internships. So they'll post on there. Cove Intern it's coveintern.com/jobs, and we'll send you the list of all of these and their links in the chat, so you can have them for future reference. The next one is the HACU internship program. So this one right here, the HACU National Internship Program. You can think of it as a liaison to corporate and government agencies. So you can select which preference you have, but all their internships are paid. They provide a housing stipend as well. And they're currently open. Their deadline is June 5th for the fall. But it's a rolling basis. So the application is year round, and so is the program. So if you're interested in applying for the winter or the summer, the application is not open yet, but will be soon. CalJobs, if you search here at caljobs.ca.gov, you could also find remote and virtual internships available now. And these are all jobs in the state of California and internships that you can find as well. Handshake. So the reason why we promote Handshake so heavily is because recruiters specifically select that they want to recruit from CSUSB. Unlike all the other databases listed here, they're national databases and anybody essentially can have access to them. But for Handshake, recruiters are specifically saying that they want CSUSB students. So that's why we promote Handshake so heavily. You can find internships and jobs as well on there. A new one, the Career Center actually just recently received a subscription to it. It's called Flex Jobs. So Flex Jobs is all virtual and, oh goodness, I don't know what happened. Okay, Flex Jobs is all virtual and remote internships that are available and also part-time jobs that are available on there. But if you go to flexjobs.com, and then click on Find Jobs, you can see a whole category of them based off of different fields. So if you're interested in like legal jobs or communications and marketing, it will sort it out for you. So that's really neat. Chegg Internships is also currently promoting remote and virtual internships. Also summer internship programs are on there. That one's pretty simple. It's internships.com. LinkedIn is also a really good one. So if you don't have a LinkedIn account, I highly recommend you creating a LinkedIn account because it does a couple things. So it's a really neat networking tool. So it connects you with professionals in your field, but it also has its own job database system. So LinkedIn is essentially, you can select for internships. So it's linkedin.com/jobs. And you can also find internship opportunities there. USA Jobs is more for if you're interested in government agencies or federal agencies. You can, all of those agencies will be posting their positions and internships on USA Jobs. USA Jobs is also a really good database for recent graduates. So the two on here, HACU, they actually, going back to HACU allows students 6 months after they graduate to intern with them, which is very rare, but it's really neat opportunity for them. But it is very rare for organizations to hire interns who've already graduated. So that's a really neat opportunity that HACU has. And USA Jobs also hires recent graduates as well. So that's also a really good database. Indeed, so I have mixed feelings about Indeed.com. I'm sure many of you have heard of Indeed. The reason I like Indeed is that because a lot of organizations and companies know about Indeed, you'll get a really large array of opportunities on there, internship opportunities. But because so many people are aware of Indeed, a lot of experiences and the quality of the experiences can get diluted in that database. So just be careful if you do use Indeed, just make sure that it's a legitimate internship. But again, so I have mixed feelings. It's like a good database because it's so big in terms of like everybody knows about it, but in the flip side, it can get, you can come across some internships that may not be as legitimate. All right. If you go to and again, we'll send these links to you, but if you go to our main website at the Career Center, and if you go to Students and Alumni and click on what can I do with this major, this is also a good search strategy when you're looking for internships. So it breaks it down between all the majors. Let's say I'm criminal justice. So if I click on criminal justice, it'll give me all the different functional areas that are within criminal justice. So think of your major as like a funnel. And within that funnel, you can begin to kind of narrow down what your specific niche area is, whether that's something of interest to you or through your experiences and your internship opportunities, that's kind of the place that you want to be in. So one area is judiciary and law that you can go into, and here are some even more specific like occupations that fall into this area. And then the employers that house this area. So the way that I use this when I guide students for their internship search is that these top words here, you can use those as different key terms or search terms. So instead of just typing in criminal justice intern, you can now type in maybe like legal assistant or legal research assistant or paralegal intern or something like that. So it gives you kind of some keywords that you can kind of play around with. And then the employers, so this is also good in terms of kind of where to look for an internship, right? So if you're interested in judiciary and law, perhaps, going with your local Department of Social Services and looking on their website to see if they have internship opportunities, because these are the employers that will house this specific functional area. So this tool is, it's called What Can I Do with This Major? It's really good to explore in terms of giving you some additional strategies to look for internships. So kind of going back to the search terms. So here are some other keywords that you can use instead of criminal justice intern. And again, kind of, if you're a biology major, this is also really good, right? So instead of just typing biology intern, you can identify different key terms that you could utilize. All right. In that same website, and what can I do with this major? And again, we'll send that link out to you all, is you can research companies in the state of California that hire these specific majors. So it's broken down by major and concentration. So let's say I'm a music major and I want to see the list of employers in California that will hire music majors. So here, and you can change it, it's defaulted by California, but you can change it to any state or any city as well. But here's just kind of a preview of it. So it gives you the company and the organization, how many employers it has. So if you want to work for a big company, a small company, you can filter out through that. But it's also really good because it can give you organizations that you might never have thought about, right? So for example, if I'm a music major, I'm like, oh, I've never heard of Atlantic Recording Corp. So I can go to their website and see if they have an internship program. So that could be an additional way that you can identify internship opportunities. Okay, and then kind of going to the next thing is utilizing resources on campus. So us as the Career Center, we're here to support you, but then also using your department as an additional resource to finding an internship. So for example, if I'm a communications major, this is the Internship Coordinator directory. So these are internship course instructors that oversee the internship class within your departments. And some of them may have like a dual role as well. But you can definitely, I don't know if you're on your phone or like your laptop, but we can also send this out to you. We'll send the entire presentation so you can have this slide specifically. But if you have any questions of like who you go to based off of your department, we can redirect you and refer you to them. But again, so let's say I'm a communications studies major. I would contact Jessica Naren. She's the internship coordinator there. And so in addition to myself, I would then contact Jessica because Jessica may know of internship opportunities that are specific to communication majors that I might not be aware of. So it's also good to utilize both resources and both individuals. And then also look at your own department's website to see what information they have or what resources they have regarding internships. So sticking to the communications example, so if I'm a communications major and if I go to internships on the homepage, they have a whole listing of internship opportunities. So it's actually an Excel sheet that they've gathered on internship opportunities that hire communication majors. So again, like for example, College of Business, there's the JHBC Resource Network, where employers specifically select that they want students from the College of Business at CSUSB, and you all have a whole database as well. The sociology department also has a really great extensive Excel sheet with numerous internship sites, psychology department. So definitely check out your department website to see if they have any additional resources or internship sites as well. All right. Once again, the HACU National Internship Program. So here you can see the deadline for the fall, if you're interested, is June 2020. And again, we'll send this link out to you as well. All right. Let me see if I have another poll. Yeah, okay, so focus your search. So here I'd like to, we'll break out onto like a session. So it will be 2 to 3 people per session. But first I wanna communicate that the first picture here is, if you're, let's say you're applying and you're applying everywhere, like you don't care where you're going to be interning at. You're just like, I just want an internship. Like at this point, I don't even care what it is or with who or what. So you're just going to splatter paint everywhere, right? You're just going to be like, we'll see what I land. Now the kind of the issue with that is that it can get really overwhelming. So if you go into any of the databases that I mentioned, let's say you go on Handshake and you just type in internship and you see all these internships, it can get kind of overwhelming of whether what you should apply to or what you shouldn't apply to and what would be actually beneficial. And that kind of ties into the comment that was posted on the chat. So really think about what is it like, take the ownership of saying like, what is it that you want to learn? What is it that you want to gain out of it? And what are some of your maybe parameters that you're looking for? If one of your challenges is transportation, perhaps looking at only internships that are located within your, commuting area, or within the distance that you are able to get there. And then that is going to actually help you land an internship that you would actually be, you would actually would want. Because a lot of times if we just kind of aim and then just kind of leave it up to chance, we might end up with something that we might not really like. So definitely focus your search, and on the next slide, I'll share some questions to reflect on that and what that would actually mean. So I'm gonna have you all take about 5 minutes. Again, I'll have you all break out into sessions so you all can talk to each other. And the first question, I'll see if I can post these on the chat because I haven't really figured out how to really do this. But some questions to think about is which quarters you would like your internship to take place. I recommend students to start looking at least 1 quarter, now that we're moving to a semester, at least 1 semester before you're wanting to intern. So if you're wanting to intern in the summer, right now is a perfect time to apply. The earlier the better. And what location you would ideally want. Again, if transportation is a challenge, or if you want to explore a completely different environment, that's completely fine. Whatever it is that you want to intern at. And then think about, are you looking for a paid internship, an internship for credit, or an unpaid internship? Does the compensation, is that something that is important to you, or, maybe you're flexible with that, but definitely take in consideration of what type of compensation you are looking for. And then if industry or functional area, if that's important to you, I'll share a quick story. So I had a student who was an English major, and she was interested in either going into law or going into teaching. So she had kind of 2 interests, but she wasn't sure. So her internship search focused on those two areas. It was either, finding a paralegal internship or with like a law firm, or looking for an internship that would be more so within education. But because she had like a focused search, it was easier to communicate with other people of like what kind of internship she was looking for. All right, so let me. All right, so just to get a kind of sense of what search engines, based off of the ones that we covered, that you'll be using. So what two search engine strategies will you use to identify an internship? So kind of going into the different job database systems that are out there, also looking into your own department listings. And all right, so the number one response, using Handshake, and then LinkedIn as well. And if you need assistance with your LinkedIn account, we'll be more than happy to guide you through that as well. But yeah, definitely check out, I would recommend just kind of briefly checking out each of the search engines, and seeing some will have more internship opportunities based off of your field than other search engines. So definitely identify which ones might work best for you. And if you have any questions or anything like that, we'll be more than happy to assist you there. All right, so if you have an unpaid internship, so we have internship funding available. The Career Center oversees two internship awards. One is the Career Center Internship Award, and the other is the Explore Internship Award. It's $1,000 at the end of your internship course. Students need to submit an application in order to be considered, and then those who are selected will then be eligible to receive the $1,000. So about, I want to say probably like 80 to 90% of the students who do apply end up receiving it. So it's a pretty high chance. So I definitely recommend you applying if you do have an unpaid internship with a government, municipal, or nonprofit organization. The Explore Internship Award has to be off-site, located in the city of San Bernardino or Coachella Valley. And for the Career Center Internship Award, it just needs to be offsite, but it can be located anywhere. Then we also have the Here to Career Internship Award. We don't necessarily oversee that, but we are a partner with them. So they're from the Here to Career grant. And this is specific for digital media disciplines. So this can include a whole array of different disciplines, but it's discipline specific. And it's also $1,000, and you have to be enrolled in an internship course. All right, so other ways that the Career Center can support you, definitely we be more than happy to review your resume and recognizing the differences between a federal resume, a chronological resume. So for those of you who are interested in interning with a government agency or a federal agency, I recommend submitting and creating a federal resume, and I'll be more than happy to share the differences between them. And then chronological resume is a one-page resume. It's most common used for corporations, usually for like education fields. It goes beyond one page. So it depends on the field that you're in, but usually the most common is a one-page resume. I would be more than happy to review your resume for that. And another thing that I want to point out with the resume is that it's not necessarily, so some students will share that, I don't really have experience in my field, so it's really hard for me to put relevant experience on my resume. But it's not so much on the title or previous jobs that you've held. It's more so of the skills that you highlight in your resume. So I'll kind of share a story. So when I was an undergrad, I was interested in HR and I was interested in going into education. And I was a server at a restaurant for about 2 years. So I didn't really have experience in education and I didn't have experience in HR. So when I was looking for positions, one of my mentors told me that it's just a matter of framing. So it's, for example, so instead of, for let's say HR, so I would say I trained maybe new employees on the restaurant policies, or I increased sales on by promoting menu items to customers. So sales, like a business side, and then training, definitely big in HR. That would be for like the HR resume. But if I'm applying for more of like education, it would be, instead of training, I educated new employees on the, whatever it was. And instead of increasing sales, I would say I informed customers on our menu items. So education or informing, those are all more aligned with the education field. So it's more so of what are the skills that you're highlighting based off of your experience. And it's not necessarily like what you did, but it's like what skills did you gain and how can they be transferred over to the field that you actually want to go into. We'll also help with your internship search, and your job search as well. And meeting employers. So we'll host information sessions, providing networking events, and then mock interviews. So again, if you are applying and you're getting interviews, but you're not getting any offers, we'll definitely go over interviewing strategies, and we can host a mock interview with you all as well. I'll send you all a link about Big Interview. So Big Interview here in the little blue sticky note there is a really cool software system that we just recently purchased, and it video records you and it prompts you questions, and then you can watch yourself. So you can either give yourself feedback, or you can give the video to somebody else and they can give you feedback. But it's like a mock interview through a video essentially. All right, other ways to stay connected with us. So even though we're not on campus, we're still here for you virtually. So you can attend our virtual drop-ins. They're going to be taking place April 27th and on. We have Instagram live sessions every Tuesdays and Thursdays at 2 p.m. And you can follow us on Instagram at CSUSB_CC. And let's see, we also have a career club. So they have Instagram lives Fridays at 5, and there's their Instagram handle account. You can think of the career club as kind of an informal career center. So it's student led, and any questions that you might have with anything particular to your career, they'd be more than happy to help you. And it's also a really good organization to just socially connect with other students. For upcoming webinars, so our next one is Interviewing Strategies and Big Interview, so April 28th at 12. We also have other internship presentations coming up, and here's the list of the rest of them for the spring. All right, so I believe this is my last poll here based off of the information that you received today, what will be the first step that you'll take right after ending this session? So some options are make an appointment via handshake, revise my resume, apply for internships, contact my department internship coordinator, and I have no idea. All right, so 61% of you all mentioned that you would revise your resume right after, and then applying for internships. Awesome. So yeah, kind of want to go over the next steps of what to do right after, you received all this information. So definitely make an appointment and have your resume reviewed. That way you can be prepared to apply for internships. And then identify which search databases. Will send those links out to you. Definitely take some time in looking into them and seeing what, which databases you like best, and determine how many positions you want to apply for. So definitely don't binge apply, but select maybe one day out of the week, and you'll be applying for 3 to 7 positions every single week. That way you can keep, you can monitor your progress. Visit the Career Center website. We have all this information on there too. And then tell people that you're looking for an internship. So definitely share with your professors, with staff members that you meet, the internship counselors within your department, that you're looking for an internship, and tell them what type of internship that you're interested in. Because should they come across any opportunities, they can send them your way. And it's also really good to just share that with them. And then any virtual career fairs. So right now, the Career Center is not currently hosting virtual career fairs, but employers will. And then you can check those out on Handshake as well under events to see any virtual information sessions that are being hosted. So definitely attend those and making connections through that. And then applying through company websites. So if there's a specific organization that you're interested in applying to directly, you can apply on there. And then department listing and the internship databases that we mentioned. So you can email us. There's my email address again, and then you can also schedule an appointment via Handshake. So if you just log through My Coyote and select appointments, it will prompt you to select which staff member you want and then what type of appointment you would like to schedule for.